You see, I believe that we are collectively a part of an ever-advancing civilization, and that we do, throughout our history, go through periods of growth and evolution and change. And we go through different stages in our development. If you look throughout history, you can see how we have gone through stages of childhood, of infancy. And I would submit to you that humankind is currently in a stage of adolescence. And if you think for a moment about what those qualities of adolescence are, or what adolescence means, I think that you can see how we are in this stage now. For example, an adolescent strives for independence. They strive for a sense of identity and autonomy. I think that if you look at the world, particularly over the last 100 years, you will see dramatic expressions of independence. Ethnic groups, religious groups, nations seeking for independence, seeking identity and dignity and autonomy. Another quality of adolescence is that an adolescent often sees him or herself as invincible or indestructible, not being aware of their own weaknesses. I think that if you look in the world today, particularly in America, you can see how we often approach things with this sense of invincibility or indestructibility. And unfortunately, recent events have taught us an important lesson, that we are not immune from what is taking place in the world, and we are not indestructible. Another quality of adolescence is that an adolescent has the physical capacities of an adult. An adolescent can, if he or she wants, give life. An adolescent can, if he or she wants, take life. An adolescent has the physical capacities of an adult, but may lack the spiritual, emotional, intellectual maturity to go along with those physical capacities to use them to their fullest. We are in a similar stage. We have right now amazing material capacities. We have the ability, if we wanted to feed the whole world. We have the ability, if we wanted to annihilate the whole world. We have amazing material capacities, but we lack, as of yet, the spiritual, the emotional, or the intellectual maturity to go along with those physical capacities to use them to their fullest. And this is the challenge that's before us, and we are at this stage of adolescence, and we are at the edge of adulthood, but we have to mature, and we have to grow, and we have to progress in order to be adults. I would submit to you that one of our greatest challenges in entering into adulthood is the achievement of the equality of women and men. In order to illustrate the importance of this principle, I want to share with you an analogy that comes from my own religious tradition, which is that of the Baha'i faith. And the analogy is that humankind is like a bird with two wings. One wing is that of the female, and the other is that of the male. And until both wings are equally strong, the bird will be unable to soar or fly to its fullest potential. And we have, as a civilization throughout our history, been handicapped by our lack of equality. And this is a handicap that affects both men and women because we are attached to the same bird. And we are unable to fully mature and to fully soar to our fullest potential. Now, if you examine this analogy, it's interesting because you might notice you actually can't stick the right wing of a bird on the left side, nor can you stick the left wing of a bird on the right side. They are, in fact, unique wings. They are different, but they have to be equally strong in order for the bird to fly. This issue is something that we have to achieve in order for our own progression as a humankind if we want to enter into adulthood and to achieve the capacity that we have. But we have a long way to go. And I know that... Ooh. Exactly! That is what I was thinking! I wish I could just do that all the time. So now you know, we have so much to do, and we have a charge, and we have to move forward. And there is a lot that we have to address. There are many things happening to women throughout the world that need our attention. And I know that all of you are very well educated. And you probably are already familiar with what's happening to women in the world. But in spite of your knowledge, I want to just share with you a few statistics to make this point. Of the world's 1 billion illiterate adults, 2/3 of them are women. In the United States, 1 out of every 5 women have been raped. In Peru, 70% of all crimes reported to police are of women being beaten by their husbands. In the United States, 3 to 4 million women are victimized by violence each year. In India, 1 out of every 5 deaths among women was reported to be a case of accidental burns. In Zaire, girls spend 1/3 as much time in school as boys and do most of the heavy farm work. In Pakistan, a woman's word is worth only 1/3 of a man's word in a court of law. Female genital mutilation is inflicted on at least 2 million girls each year, 6,000 per day, or 5 every minute. In Canada, 62% of all women murdered died at the hands of their spouses. And finally, at the current rate of progress, women will reach equality with men in decision-making positions only around the year 2465. Now that's according to the US Fund for Feminist Majority. The United Nations actually puts that date further back in time and estimates that women won't reach equality with men in decision-making positions until the year 2490. So we have a problem, and it is something that requires our attention, not only for the sake that it's something that disturbs us or it's something that looks bad, and we feel, given our own idealistic views, that we need to help people, but also for the sake of our own survival and our advancement as a civilization. It is in our interest, both men and women, because we are attached to the same bird. And we have to engage in a process that involves both our individual personal transformation